Welcome back. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Ashton Mohlman of Woodhaven High School Football. How's it going, man?
Uh, Good. Yeah, great. Good to be back.
So let's last time you well, let's update you. What have you been up to? I know that's coming off a huge win there, bud. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, big
so
win last week.
so kind of go into that, like talk about that a little bit.
It was our league championship game, or I guess the game for first place. And we kind of came out a little flat. We were down 14-0 in the first quarter, and our team just we kind of persevered, fought through some adversity, and we ended up winning in the last 10 seconds, 33-28.
That's gotta be something, man. Do you ever thought you'd be a part of a game winner?
I always hoped so. It was always something you dream about, getting a chance to do. So I was really just grateful that I was given the opportunity, and obviously that I capitalized on it.
Yeah. So I mean, this was a game winner. I know you got a chance to. I got to ask you, what was that? What'd you do after? Did you go out, hang out a little bit? What'd you do?
Yeah. So after every game, kind of my group of friends, we all go out to eat. So we went out to eat after the game, and it was a great time.
Awesome. All right. So getting ready for this week. Tell everybody who you got.
We have Trenton this week. It's our homecoming game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, Rivalry weekend. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's if you're downriver, it's always a big rivalry whenever those two schools get together.
Yep.
But overall, how are you getting ready for this weekend? What kind of things are you doing? What are you doing?
So I always at the beginning of the week, my offensive coordinator will send me a spreadsheet of what kind of the game plan is, what different wrinkles we're going to do that week. So I got that on Monday this week, and every day we kind of put in a new piece. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday is our game prep day. So we go over that, and we ran through all of our plays for that today. So we got it all figured out, and now it's just a matter of executing it.
So today's kind of like just to get everything all set and ready to go.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So let's talk about this. Obviously a home game is so different because you've been playing last 2 weeks. I think you've been playing a lot at home. I don't know if you've been going on the road lately, but what's it been like? How are home games different for you than away games?
Home games are a lot, I'd say, more predictable in like my pregame routine. So I kind of have a schedule that I follow for home games, which is a little different on the road. So we were just on the road last week, but I think that was only our second time in 5 games. So most of our games have been home so far, and it's just a lot more comfortable at home, I would say. But I think really we travel well. Our student section's always there. They're always loud, and that kind of gives us a sense of home away from home, even when we're on the road. So we're always grateful for that.
All right. So kind of talk about road schedules and what they're like.
So we have to get to the school a little earlier to get all of our like taped up, get ready, walkthroughs, and then we got to get on the bus. So we're usually on the bus by I think 5:15, usually on road games where we're just starting our walkthrough for a home game at 5:15. So it's just kind of moves everything up a little bit.
All right. So getting ready for, you guys you're kind of off to a pretty good start so far this season. What
Yeah.
do you got to do to kind of carry the momentum this weekend?
Honestly, just keep doing what we've been doing. We had a great week of practice. We have a solid game plan. It's really just a matter of going out and executing it. I think we got a bunch of good guys who we've all been playing together for. I mean, some of these guys I'm playing with for 10 years. Like this is this is a really tight knit group, and we all have the common goal in mind of making a deep run in the playoffs. So that's kind of what we talk about all the time, and we're like consumed by it. We really just want to go as far as Woodhaven ever has. We want to make history.
So I know the goal of a state title's got to be out there, but you got to feel
Yep.
like, um, yeah, you like. I mean, this game, but this game, I mean, you got some bigger games heading up your way, and this one's pretty big.
Yeah, this is a big game. Trenton's always, they're always a tough game for us just because our play styles have been so different. And it's there's a lot of history between Woodhaven and Trenton, so we've been playing them for forever. So, this is the really big game because, it's a crosstown rivalry. Their school borders ours, so it's kind of for bragging rights of our town, I would say.
All right. What gets you fired up for games?
Before games at home, I like to walk out on the field kind of before the stadium fills up while the band's kind of doing their warm up thing on the field. So I walk out there with my backup quarterback and we throw a little bit. And I just like to look around at all the empty stands. And then I imagine them like full as they will be in a little bit because we fill out our stadium really well. So I always like to just imagine that, and that kind of playing for your city just is really special to me.
Yeah. So kind of going into this, do you wear headphones? Do you put some headphones in? What tunes are you listening to? How do you like get ready that way?
Yeah, I've got music in really from 4 o'clock until 6:30, like right before kickoff. I listen to a lot of different kinds of stuff. I start off with kind of a more chill, like not necessarily rap, kind of just like a chill like R&B pop type of thing, and then kind of right before kickoff, I move into like hard hitting kind of rap stuff. I like 21 Savage, I like Drake, I like kind of all those types of guys.
Jeez, more like the Super Bowl halftime show that just got announced.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's like the '90s kid in me decided to get out and decide to do it. Like, yeah.
Right.
So, talk about for road games. Like, I know you like to. I don't know how far you travel for games, but how important is it to, there's a lot of downtime on the bus ride. A lot of people, you know, try to tend to fall asleep or, do all that. What's your approach towards during the bus
Yeah.
ride?
Honestly, bus rides, I'm not really one to fall asleep on a bus ride. I usually sit kind of up in the front of the bus because I'm always running late getting ready for games. So I always sit in the front of the bus next to the assistant coaches, and we just have conversations about really anything but football, just to kind of try to keep it as relaxed as possible, obviously, because if you're traveling to a high pressure game, it's kind of full go as soon as you get off the bus. So on the bus, we really like to keep it kind of relaxed and not put too much pressure on ourselves too early.
That's a different. Everyone's so different.
Yeah,
So
I know.
it's so interesting. So yeah, I mean, always good to talk to the assistant coaches, see what they're up to.
Yeah.
Um, all right, let's get into this. Is kind of like getting into your head a little bit.
Okay.
What's kind of like trying to think, what's been the biggest thing? Or do you ever get nervous before a game? Do the nerves ever come up or something?
Yeah. So I'm always the most nervous, like basically from the national anthem until like the first snap, like calling the cadence on the first snap. Like there's been times I just step up and my mind goes blank and I forget what I'm doing. So that happens sometimes, but I thrive off of the nerves. Like I thrive off of kind of important situations. So, but as soon as you get into the flow of the game, you start picking up a couple first downs. I mean, all the nerves pretty much go away after that. Then you're just locked in, focused, and ready to do what you do.
What if you called your, have you ever called your own play?
Yeah, so my offensive coordinator and I have a really good relationship. So we uh we really openly communicate about a lot of different things. So he we have like hand signals for every play.
Yeah.
So I'll he usually signals them to me, but sometimes I'll signal them to him, and then he'll give me like a thumbs up, go for it. So I do get to call my own plays from time to time. But
Oh, that's a rarity these days. Usually the coaches usually do that. But well, how does it feel? Because not every court, not, I mean, in college, in the NFL, I mean, yeah, they do. But you don't see that every so often in high school, though.
no, it's I mean I'm really lucky to have a coaching staff that, puts a lot of trust in me and faith in me to make decisions and trusts what I have to say a lot of the time. I mean, I don't call plays often, but when I have important input, they usually listen. So that's something I really appreciate about, my coaching staff and my relationship with them, because I it makes me feel like I'm part of kind of what they're doing, and makes me feel like I'm more than just the guy that throws the ball.
Yeah.
Kind of helps me feel like I'm involved in the mental part of the game too, which I feel like is just as important.
Yeah. So how do you handle like the mental approach to like games and stuff? Because this is a demanding sport. It takes a lot out of you and really all that, but going into that, how do you handle like just handle those pressure packed situations and then just try to not get too worried about them.
Well, I mean, really, when the game kind of when it comes down to it, I only really worry about things I can't control. Because I feel like if it's in my hands to make the play, I'm not really worried about it, because I feel like, kind of our whole team is really prepared well together, and we tend to, come up big when it matters. So I really I really don't get worried in the big moments, because I know that I've put in the time with my receivers. I mean, I've got them coming to 8 a.m. workouts with me like all winter, every weekend, and I mean they're really hard workers. Our line is really hardworking. Our coaches watch a lot of film. I watch a lot of film, so I feel like when you're prepared, there's really no room to be nervous.
Right. Um, how do you handle like school, football, being an everyday kid? How do you handle all that?
It's a tough balance sometimes. I take a lot of advanced classes in school, so I do have a lot of homework sometimes, but it's really just a matter of getting your priorities straight. So obviously school comes first, because you got to get the diploma if you want to play football. So you got to be passing your classes. You got to do kind of the important stuff first. So once you take care of all your kind of business things, then you can do what you enjoy to do. So like my parents and my family has always kind of instilled that in me, that you got to take care of first things first. Like your school is always going to be your top priority above sports. So that's really just what I try to do.
So on an average night, how do you like after football practice, how much do you spend time working on like, homework and stuff? Spend time just doing whatever and then like because it's usually you go to school pretty early, then
Yep.
football practice, and then you're just then you got to get maybe 1, 2, maybe even 3 hours of work.
Right.
It's off to bed.
Yeah, it's during football season, it's definitely really busy, but I wouldn't trade this time for the world. It's really just an amazing experience to have, high school football, because this is what everybody talks about. Like you talk to anybody, they say that they really appreciated their high school football experience. So, to balance all that stuff is difficult at times, but I just kind of see the bigger picture, and this is like the moments that I'm going to enjoy and cherish.
So on an average night, how much you take like all these advanced classes.
Right.
On an average night, how long do you spend doing like the homework stuff?
It was worse last year. Junior year is definitely the worst. So I'd say last year was probably 2 hours. This year it's probably 45 minutes to an hour.
That's pretty good.
No, it's not. It's not as bad. But sometimes when I get lazy and I let it pile up for a couple of days, then that's when it gets bad.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a procrastinator are you? And don't lie, don't lie.
11,
All right, be honest.
11. I procrastinate so much. I'm really trying to get better at it. I've tried to manage my time a lot better, but I am a major procrastinator.
Okay, so I've never asked this before, but take me into like a day in the life of Ashton Mohlman.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'd say probably typically I'm up around 6:30.
Okay,
Um, that's not crazy early, obviously, but um,
to some people it is.
yeah, it feels early when I wake up, but then I usually shower, eat, go to school. Our first hour starts 7:45.
Yeah,
So then I have school till 2:30. 6 classes, an hour a piece. It's not anything crazy. And then my practice is usually it's right after school, so it's usually 3 o'clock till about 6. And then I'll get home and eat dinner about 6:30 usually. After that, I usually try to jump straight into my homework. So um, I'm usually done with that close to 8 o'clock, 8:30. And then whenever there's football on, so like Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, I usually like to get together with my friends and we all watch it together. So whether that's at somebody's house, we go to beat ups, anywhere, we like to watch football together. So that's typically during the week what I do.
okay. I got a couple more things, but since you mentioned football, Bengals or Jaguars?
Bengals. I got to ride with Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
He's my guy.
took the Bengals this week. I did good. First week I'm doing good.
Yes,
My
sir.
fantasy team is not though. We'll not get into that. Let's see. So kind of talk about what classes are you taking?
So the hardest one I have right now is AP Calculus.
Yeah,
That's pretty difficult, but nothing I can't get through. And then I've got a couple classes that I'm more interested in. Like I'm taking a sports science class, accounting. We have a school store that I work in for an hour.
nice,
Um, and then just like English, the graduation requirement stuff.
nice. Yeah,
Nothing too crazy.
nothing too crazy. Not as crazy as last year though.
No, yeah, last year was that was pretty difficult.
And on top of that, COVID.
Right. Yeah. The online learning, it was a kind of a struggle for a while, but
So let me ask you that. And I got a couple more things, and then we'll be good. So, how was like surviving like last year? How'd you like survive? Did you think that, oh, like really, I can't believe I did this?
yeah, I guess looking back on it now, like it kind of just seems like it was the blink of an eye. Like it was like March 2020, and now I was like at the end of my sophomore year of high school, and then I kind of wake up and I'm starting my senior year. It was just kind of a blur, but I mean, getting through it was definitely difficult at times, but I guess kind of the fact that everybody in the world was in it together,
Yeah,
and everybody could understand what you were going through, and there was obviously a lot of people that were worse off than what I am through
yeah,
COVID. So I really just am grateful that I wasn't, severely affected by it like some other people were. So obviously it was tough, not ideal, but I just try to look at it with gratitude that I was able to get through it.
yeah. And I had it. It was
Oh,
something.
me too. Yeah, it was tough, but got through it and I'm still here. So
Yeah, me too. It's yeah, it's good. Surviving that. So looking back, like I don't know how much you're focused on this, but the recruiting process has got to be what thinking about next year. I feel like I'm talking to
yeah,
professional athletes. But I don't know if you talked about that. Have you thought about how much have you thought about that?
a lot. Yeah, I've been to a lot of recruiting camps this summer, been to a lot of different schools. I've talked to a lot of different schools. but I'm really just trying to wait for the right opportunity for me. So I don't know when that's gonna come, but um, really just trying to put as much good plays on film as I can this year and let the chips fall where they may.
So like, um, I gotta ask you, what are you thinking when you're on like the sidelines and stuff, or like during a game? What's going through your head, like plays and stuff and all that? Do you memorize your own plays or all anything like that?
Yeah, so we actually have an iPad that has film on it from the press box, so I can come off the field and watch what I just did. So I have the offensive coordinator and another assistant coach who as soon as I come off the field, I mean anything from touchdown, interception, whatever, they're instantly showing me like whatever I can improve on, whatever I need to see better, whatever I did good and I need to keep doing. So it's really just as soon as you come off the field, you're preparing for the next drive, getting water, pumping up guys on the sideline, anything that you can do to be productive.
Yeah. Okay, last thing.
Right.
One thing that you did well this week, one thing that you can improve on.
Okay. One thing I did well, I think, this week was just hitting open receivers. Like sometimes I try to force the ball and make it too perfect and I'll miss, but I feel like this week I did a really good job of just hitting the receivers when they're open and just taking whatever the defense was giving me. And then one thing I think I needed to improve on that I actually picked up on towards the end of the game was they were sending a lot of linebacker blitzes off the edge. And so I would try to break outside the pocket and I would get sacked because they were sending off the edge. So if they're coming off the edge and I'm trying to go outside, then I'd go right into the linebacker. And I realized that if I slid up into the middle, there's no one in the middle and I can make a throw or I can run or I can make a better read. So I feel like in the future, I just need to be more aware of where the rush is coming from so I can avoid it better.
All right. Well, Ashton, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and
Sure, of
good
course.
luck this week against Trenton. And thanks for letting me go in your head a little bit.
Yes, sir, of course. Anytime.